What's going on, y'all? About to check out this video that you guys sent me, and if I'm not mistaken, it's from Legal Mindset. It's about Jack Doherty. What he do now? That boy is stupid as hell. Anyway, let's check. I'm gonna start cursing out him out already. Let's check out this video, see what's going down, man. If you don't know who he is, he's a knucklehead streamer. Guess you could say TikToker or whatever as well, that just does whatever shock value thing that he could come up with to get clicks and views. This dude's a fool. I've seen him get slapped too many times for him to still be doing crazy things and robbed and exposed.
Jack Doherty could be in massive legal risk now that he's been hit with crimes in Miami, and more liability could come down the pike. Of course, this on the Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and we're going to get into it today. Of course, I've got a PowerPoint for you guys. So let's talk about the trouble that Jack Doherty's got in.
I don't usually like the YouTube lawyers, but I watched a few of his videos and he seems very insightful.
Some of this has been discussed on social media while I've been on a business trip. Some of this has been not discussed. So we're going to get into some of the stuff that has and has not been discussed today with this lovely PP, this lovely PowerPoint. So, of course, if you guys don't know, Jack Doherty was arrested this week in Miami, where ironically, he was arrested almost the day that I was on the flight out. I'm not going to say that's a coincidence, but maybe it is.
What did he get arrested for?
So he got arrested, and even his oversized bodyguard could not protect him from the police. And one of the most beautiful things about this video, which I once again don't want to play, so I don't want to get claimed or anything else like that. But the beautiful thing about this video is he is dressed down by the police. The police absolutely talk to him and say, "Who do you think you are? What do you think you are? What do you think you're doing?" And they absolutely dress this guy down and put him in his place, which is something that a lot of people on the internet have been waiting for a very, very, very long time. Now, we have to get into what the reality is versus what is the criminal penalties, because a lot of people out there are looking at the maximums for the crimes and saying Jack Doherty's going to get 7 years in prison. He's going to get maximum fines. He's going to get all this stuff. Hold your horses, as always on the Legal Mind.
That's what a lot of people want. I go front. He's very hated. This nigga is like Jake Paul hated, bro. Like, remember back in the day? Well, still, can't even say back in the day. But remember when Jake Paul was more so focused on social media instead of boxing? That nigga is hated on that level. And I'm not even going to say this, it's wrong, right? He does a lot of dumb stuff. Like, since he was a kid, it's anything to get clout. He just never stopped because he doesn't have an actual talent.
So we give you the straight facts. We give you the quick and dirty and the fast facts. And if you like that, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment on the video. So let's get into the reality. So here's the criminal maximum. So this is the maximum under Florida law, which is the state in which I am a member of the bar, is possession of a controlled substance, amphetamine. Now that's the most serious one. So we're starting at the top with a felony. Yes, that on paper is 5.
What the hell is he doing? Using a distributor.
5 years and a $5,000 fine, right? That is the maximum amount. Now, a lot of people skip over the word maximum. It's really important there, guys. The next is possession of 20 grams of marijuana, which is still a first-degree misdemeanor. Now, this is one where there's a huge expectation versus reality difference here. You guys are going to see in a second. And next is resisting arrest without violence. Now, resisting arrest without violence is very interesting because I know a lot of state public attorneys in Florida, some of which are on the state side. That's the prosecutors. Some are the public defenders. And this is one that people need to understand. If there is any excuse to slap that on there, the state attorneys are going to slap that on there. If they are, I know many of them, and they are going to throw that on there. If you in any way are sassing them, talking back, failure to comply, boom, resisting arrest without violence. Without violence is important because if he had actually hit an officer or pushed an officer or done anything physical with an officer, you would have violence in there. But we don't have that in this case. We simply have a failure to comply, which is much different. It's a first-degree misdemeanor under the statutes in Florida. So what's the criminal reality for these things? Now, this is super important. So possession of the controlled substance, the amphetamine.
Wait, okay, all right. I'm about to say, Because he had green on him, if that was all it was. I was about to say, yeah, like $100 fine.
And that's the one that everyone's barking up. All the taglines, or he's going to get a bunch of time for this. That's not what's going to happen here in the case. In this case, because of his record, he's probably going to have probation with drug classes. He was not an amphetamine dealer. There's no sales intent. So he's probably going to either get probation or probation with a withheld adjudication. What that means is they're going to say, hey, we're going to drop this if you go on probation. Now, that probation might be very lengthy, and I'm going to get into this. I think the probation should be as hard and strict as possible. In fact, one of the beautiful things about probation is you can set crazy conditions. And one thing they could set is, hey, you can't be going out and engaging in this sort of behavior for content in the future, restricting his content. I think that might be a great term of probation, and then keeping him from monetizing what is essentially criminal activity in the.
Damn, but then that would keep him from making money at all. This nigga would have to take his ass to go get a job. And he has no skills. So my man gonna be doing some hard labor, and you need skills for that. So you gonna be out of luck, bro. That's what you get for being dumb. Like, when you already are successful, you have a name, you making money, why do you need to just do the debauchery? Nigga, go take a business class or something. Nigga, fix your life. You could have switched into real estate if you wanted to. Nigga, like, you could have made troll videos where no one has any kind of hurt or harm from it. Nigga, like, you could just live stream. Nigga, get your ass on a stream and play a video game. Whatever happened to that? Like, do something that's not you wilding out and just causing a bunch of debauchery. Nigga, I went on a live stream one time. I did a live stream one time, and I was outside working out. Yo, fam, the amount of people that came on trying to swarm to find out where I was at so I could get beat up or something. Nigga, I was getting numbers. Like, I'm looking at that joint from 10 minutes. Numbers going crazy. I'm like, whoa. Where did this come from, dude? Oh, wait a minute. These are all the people that hate me. I could feed this and just stream like this, walking around outside, risking myself and make money off it. Or I could not pay attention to these losers and do the content that I want to do. Right? So I chose not to focus on that and just do my, whatever the hell I wanted to do. If I want to go outside and work out again, cool. But nigga, like, I don't chase the algorithm. Guys like this chase the algorithm, and then it gets them in huge trouble because they don't have any skills or personality of their own. It's real talk. Hey, what's up, FB? How you doing?
Future. Then you've got the possession of 20 grams or less of marijuana. You've got that's a citation. At this point in Florida, if you get caught with 20 grams or less of marijuana, that's going to be a slap on the wrist. It's a citation or a withheld adjudication. They just dropped that. Now, resisting arrest without violence, that's not going to get you any jail time in reality. What that will get you is 12 months of probation. And like I said, up to 12 months, 6 to 12 months is about the average for that. So what that could be, once again, combine the possession of a controlled substance, the amphetamine, the marijuana, the resisting arrest. Let's say he just gets a year probation or 8 months probation. Let's make those terms of probation as strict as possible. Let's make him do random drug tests. Let's make him do other stuff. Let's make his life uncomfortable for 8 to 12 months, 6 to 12 months. I think that's reasonable. And I think that's an absolute L for him. And
ain't he like banned from most streaming platforms? This nigga on some other joint that I never even heard before. Oh, wait, no. I seen Johnny Somali streaming on there, nigga, if he's still on there. I remember I hit up Johnny Somali like, hey, man, come on my channel. And I asked you some questions. That nigga told me he charged. I told him, kiss my ass. You weirdo. I think we both was in Japan at the same time, too. That was... Imagine if I bumped into Johnny Somali. I bumped into a few content creators, but it was the most positive vibe. Like this dude that was playing guitar. I think it was chilling.
In terms of his lifestyle of just doing whatever the hell he wants and not taking any accountability for it. This is very similar.
Yeah, it's chasing fame, chasing the algorithm. I'm telling you, man, I turn down algorithm stuff on a regular basis Real to on a regular, I'm like, no, I'm cool. I don't want to do that. I ain't trying to sell out. Right? I do what I want to do. Right? My supporters, they want me to check out certain things. We vibe on live stream. That's it. But I mean, we kicking it.
To nuisance streamers, which I've covered, like Johnny Somali, who feel themselves and feel their ability to do whatever, whenever, wherever. That time needs to come. The time for streamers.
We eye to eye with it, Legal Mindset. That's crazy. I had no idea. I've never watched this video before. I had no idea he's about to bring up Johnny Somali.
Being checked and saying, hey, look, you've got to follow the law here. You've got to comply. There are people that are more important than you, i.e. the police. And if you are at a point, if content creators like Jack Doherty are at a point where they feel like they can get away with not complying with police, it's about time we restrict them as much as legally possible. Now, does that mean jail? Probably not, guys. Sorry. All those headlines are not coming. But Legal Mindset's got something for you, because I think now is the right time for a huge, massive liability, which no one's talking about right now, to hit him. And that is everything with McKinley Richardson. So in case you guys didn't know, this is the one that people really shouted out. And I remember when this went down, even I was like, there's some liability.
Is that the girl I was saying he forced her to make an OF account?
Here, there's a lot of contract issues. A lot of things going on. McKinley, she has not filed in Florida. Now, Florida would be the place to file. And this is great because the crimes that just went down in Florida. So because these both went down in Florida, there's a very reasonable legal basis for her to take at least some action here. And I think that could have wide repercussions on him and hit him much harder than a slap on the wrist with necessarily these drug charges, right? Which might just get him probation. And let me talk about that real quick, because I think with McKinley, these are the real liabilities. And this is what people don't realize when you pull stuff like this, particularly with the wedding setting and everything like that. You had intentional infliction of emotional stress. I talked about that with Emaru and that whole thing going on with Miskiff. Public humiliation.
Yeah, I was looking into the Miskiff stuff. Oh, that's some nasty work right there, man. The amount of evidence and proof that Miskiff was wilding out is crazy. Him blatantly admitting to it, knocking her upside with the phone. That's what? If the person's laying on the bed, why are you launching your phone towards their head? That sounds insane.
Regarding those wedding vows, talking about not dating men, taking all of her OnlyFans money, etc., all that sort of stuff. That is classic IIED, intentional infliction of emotional stress. And I think there's a high likelihood if she chose to go after that and she was serious about it, I think she could look for some liability there. You've got fraudulent inducement, misrepresentation, tricking her into an OnlyFans management contract, breach of contract. There was duress in that signing of that contract, invasion of privacy. You're streaming personal life without consent. It looked like there was no consent there. You've got defamation.
You tricked her into that sounds kind of wild. And I'm not saying she lying or anything, but damn, that don't sound crazy to y'all? Tricked him? Oh, it tricked her into? That sound what did he like promise her something that he wasn't going to be able to like fulfill? Like, what did he?
False portrayal of his image, of her image as immoral and a gold digger, etc. All those things stacked together. And at the very end, I wanted to put the cream, the cherry on top is a restraining order. I think the Florida crimes he just committed makes the perfect legal basis for a restraining order. At a very bare minimum, McKinley could hit him with a restraining order as an FU. Once again, this is like the scorched earth tactic, right? If she really wants to get back at him, if she's really mad about that, it's simple. It's so easy to get a restraining order right now based on just these activities, just what he had right now. Saying, hey, look, judge, he's unhinged. Look at these things he's doing right now. He doesn't care about anybody. Boom, restraining order. That's going to happen. That would be easy. And that would at least tie him up a little bit. So
you said you thought his MO was pimping chicks that be on. Yeah, that to some degree, legally, right? Like he manages them, if I'm not mistaken. There's a few people that do that, including people like Adam 22. But he manages them and they sign with him, and I think he gets a piece of how much money they make on OF. It's pretty nasty work. I ain't going front. So I guess you could say like legal pimp. Illegal pimping.
In conclusion here, guys, what I think the recent crimes, they're not going to be that hard. They're going to be light in punishment. But probation conditions can be strict, and I think they should be strict here. And we should, make sure the judge is properly informed about this guy and make sure they know, hey, prosecutors, this guy is going to go out and engage in this behavior. If anything, the law enforcement knows what type of attitude he has. They saw what type of respect he has for law enforcement, which is zero. And because
you said they got middlemen, yeah, and so on. But then, like I guess there's a system where they're doing things for the girls. All the girls got to do is show up and pretty much do whatever they say. But it's kind of like, how there's people that was managing YouTube channels. There are a plethora of those, right? I remember they used to call what was they? There was a name for them because a bunch of YouTubers signed with them. I remember there was a YouTuber that was trying to get me to sign on one. Oh, what is the name of that shit? It was like YouTube record labels. They'll sign you and then they'll do a bunch of things for you. But it really just ended up being them doing nothing for you and then taking a huge cut of your money. And I remember there was a YouTuber that I used to write for named Tipster. And this nigga tried to get me to sign with one of them companies. Because apparently they could help you like beat copyright strikes, and if YouTube takes your monetization, they can help you get that shit back. And I remember they took my monetization, and I was like, no, I'm not signing that shit. I'm good. I was like, I'm cool, brother. I'ma just grind and do my thing, and I grinded and did my thing. Didn't need to sign to nobody. And I'm still here, and this nigga ceased to exist, which tells me a lot. You know what I mean? It shows me a whole lot.
Absolutely doesn't respect anybody. He only cares about himself. I think it's a great situation for very strict probation conditions. And lastly, if McKinley Richardson, if it was not for drama, if it wasn't all kayfabe and stuff like that, if she's real, if she's sincere, I would strike now. Because she hasn't done anything yet, and there's no the statute of limitations has not run on this stuff. She can still go in Florida and pursue all of those claims, all of them, which could financially devastate him, at least get him into a situation where he's got to settle for a large amount. And it's the perfect time to sue Doherty right now. At a minimum, go file that restraining order and get that done. But guys, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen to Jack Doherty? Do you think that McKinley should go after him? I want to know in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next.
I think that nigga is over. I think he's been on a downhill slope, and this nigga need to learn how to box, because giving people the opportunity to throw hands with you might be your only way of getting income. If I'm just calling a spade a spade. But tell me what you guys think. I don't think he's gonna be able to have no career doing content no more. Hell no. But tell me what you guys think.